Hello, welcome to the Trailheads Radio Show. Thanks for joining us today. Today, my special guest is actress Miss Sally Darling. Thank you, and join us in a minute. Okay, Miss Darling, my first question to you is, how did your career begin? Where did it all begin for you?
Well, it's been a multi-career, so that's hard to say. In college, I certainly took part in the drama presentations, and when I graduated, I started work with a radio station, which familiarized me with working with a microphone. And then when I came to New York, I got started with the talking book program for the Library of Congress. Mm-hmm. And so that familiarized me with reading novels and nonfiction work into a microphone. So that sort of set the stage, and my over 10 years doing that got me my union pension, and that led to what I'm doing now, because I'm back to narrating stories into a microphone. I do that every Wednesday evening at 6 on my Facebook page.
Yes.
And as far as the theater, that has all of the theater experience has gone into the microphone work, the narration as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of your thing on Facebook, Tales and Cocktails. I look forward to watching it. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. And you make a great point, learn all you can in this industry. If you do theater, it will come into play with radio or vice versa. Learn all you can.
Absolutely. And I must say, being on stage and making mistakes on stage drive a point home faster than anything else can do. You can read about behavior and about overacting or whatever, but if you're up on stage and doing it and getting an instant audience reaction, you learn very quickly. And also, doing children's theater is wonderful for actors because children are absolutely honest. If they're bored or they don't like what you're doing, they let you know.
Absolutely. Are you still active on stage, or do you mainly just do narration now?
Mainly narration, but I get up on stage if I'm singing these days in someone else's program. Then I'm back on stage and in front of a stage microphone. But otherwise, I'm not doing theater work in general. Mm. It's been many years.
Yeah, I know you used to do, this is how I found you used to do a Noel Coward show, your Noel Coward shows, and have you kind of wrapped that to bed now and just...
Well, I put on, I've done over 13 original shows, and the last one, I did the Noel Coward, and then the following year I did a B. Lilly show, a Beatrice Lilly, and my last show was Kurt Weill begat Candor and Ebb. And that was in 19. That was before the pandemic started. Mm. So I've got a couple of other shows in the works, but I'm not sure if or when I'm going to do them.
Yeah. Well, it's great to stay busy. If you love being in this industry, it's a wonderful industry to be in. It's not for everyone, I must say, but if you have the passion and craft for it, you will succeed well in this industry.
This is so true. It's the craft and the passion. If you have the talent, learn your craft and have the passion. Then you may not hit the bright lights, but you will get a coterie of devoted followers who appreciate what you're doing, appreciate your professionalism. Mm. And that's a joy to me.
Absolutely.
When I left my little town where I grew up in Hampton, Virginia, to come to New York, and I had been kind of a big wheel in the local little theaters, people expected me to aim for Broadway or bust, and I didn't have that in mind at all. I simply needed to be in a more challenging environment. I had done everything I could do. I felt I'd been there, done that on my local stages, and so I came here to see if I could make it in New York, but just not necessarily, as I said, on Broadway, just live in New York and work in New York. And I very soon began with the recorded books and built an entirely different career there. So I've had a wonderfully satisfying career, but not as people expected me to have, people from my hometown. So from their standpoint, she didn't make it on Broadway, she's a failure. Well, no, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be persistent and passionate, and, if you want to be in this industry, let no one talk you out of it,
Exactly. Come, get on whatever stages you can find. There are always little local stages. Get on those, make your mistakes, make big mistakes. Learn from them, gather your following, and just pursue your dream. Never give up on your dream.
Absolutely. My next question to you is, what do you find is the most challenging part or the most difficult part being in this industry?
Oh my. That's a very interesting question. I think other people's expectations are among the most challenging thing, getting past those. And then the other thing is, the most difficult is finding where you can pursue your craft. Mm-hmm. And when you find, if it isn't in the pathway that you've chosen for yourself, then find another pathway that still lets you pursue your craft, pursue your dreams. The main thing is not dreaming of Broadway, just dreaming of working, of being wherever and working.
Yeah.
And if that leads to Broadway, great, if that's what you want. If it doesn't, so what? You're out there, you're pursuing your craft.
Absolutely. I've started in this industry when I was about 13 or 14 years old. I'm 21 now. I started in voiceovers and then moved my way to theater and independent films, and I love it. I can't imagine myself doing anything else than this,
Good for you, Trey. Good for you, yes. You made it happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And another thing about the most challenging part or the most difficult part of being in this industry, like you said, trying to meet people's expectations, if that doesn't happen or not, but also when auditions, don't take rejection personally when it comes to casting and auditions,
Right. Mm-hmm. That is an enormously huge thing to learn. It's not personal. I've had people, I walked into auditions and have not been able to audition. People take one look and go, nope, you're not the type. And you think, but I can show you what I can do. But they don't want, if they have a specific type firmly in mind and you don't meet it, that's it. And it's not personal. And that's very difficult to learn. Just say, okay, next time.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because casting directors already have that idea preset in their mind, who they want, and it takes a very good actor to try to convince them otherwise, but...
Yeah, if they're given the chance even to try to convince them. If they're given the chance, perhaps they can. But they have to get past that, no, you're not it, to wait a minute. Give me a chance.
Yeah.
There's a story that I love. I knew Mercedes McCambridge. Mm-hmm. And when they were casting for the role of Sadie Burke in, the movie, and now the title slipped out of my mind. Anyway, they were casting for Sadie, and she came into the green room, and there were wonderful actresses there. And one by one, they came out from having gone into audition saying, they just said, no, you're not the type. You're not the type. I never got a chance to talk. Well, when it was her opportunity to walk in, or when she was next, and she walked in, and they took one look and said, no, you're not in. And she exploded. Well, Mercy's mother was Mexican. Her father was Irish. She had a lot of explosion in her. She just let them have it. She said, you have had some of the finest talent in New York, which means some of the finest talent in the world, and how dare you, etc. And when she finished, they looked at each other and said, we found our Sadie. She was probably cast.
Yeah, I remember that film, All the King's Men, I think it was called.
All the King's Men, thank you, Trey, yes. Yeah, and she was wonderful. She was wonderful in it. But she just was not going to stand for that treatment and the treatment of these other fine actresses. And she just, as I said, she exploded, and that was Sadie.
My next question to you is, what are your words of wisdom or advice to people who want to get into this industry? What do you say to people who want to be an actor or want to get into this industry?
Get all the experience you can. Get on stage. Get in front of cameras. Get experience. You can never have enough experience, because then you begin to understand what's involved and how difficult this is going to be for you. And then if you really want to continue, by all means do. But keep getting experience. The more you know, the better prepared you are.
Absolutely, and you never stop learning. There's always room to learn.
Always. I have a friend who says, I go and watch other actors and actresses, and I steal a little bit here, and I steal a little bit there. And I said, well, you're very smart. Of course. Whatever you find that you can use, you can put in your armament. Take it, borrow it, use it, indeed.
Absolutely. Well, Sally, thank you very much for letting me talk to you. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you very much continued success in your career, and thank you.
Trey, this has been delightful. Thank you very much, and I'm quite honored that you wanted to speak with me. This was lovely.
Thank you, and I'll send you a link to the interview when it's up so you can share it and, promote it and stuff. So.
Grand. That's lovely. Thank you again, Trey.
Thank you.
And all the best to you, my dear.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye. And that was actress and narrator Miss Sally Darling. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Join us on our next interview on Saturday when I interview actor and voice actor Mr. Dwayne R. Shepard Sr. Thank you very much, and as always, God bless.